What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka NinosCorner, man. First off, if you like this content that's coming on this YouTube page, go hit that subscribe button for me. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, go give me a 5-star comment, a like, a review, something, man. It helps out so much. But today, guys, we're going to talk about this Coach Kwiatkowski 2-4-5 defense that he's been talking about and that he's been running here for the past 20 years, right? And we're going to talk about how in the Super Bowl, we had the Super Bowl winners, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ty Bowles for that 2-4-5. And I actually mentioned that on my Twitter page. Excuse me, guys. I actually mentioned that, like this past weekend on the Twitter page. You guys, thanks for doing all the comments on that, all the retweets. You guys saw it and you guys were like, yeah, that was a 2-4-5. That was definitely a 2-4-5. But it wasn't just a true 2-4-5. Just like Coach K says, it's going to be a very multiple defense, right? So how does it work, guys? You got the two tackles, the two defensive tackles, right? Then you have these outside linebacker / defensive end hybrids, okay? So your weak side defensive end, so Coach K likes this guy to be a bigger guy, okay? Like a bigger guy in the sense of 280 pounds. We got a bunch of guys that can fit that role here. Your strong side defensive end / outside linebacker hybrid is a guy that, it's like a Joseph Asai guy, right? He's your guy that's 220 pounds to 250 pounds, guy that's a speed rusher off the edge. We got more than enough for those guys. I don't know if we have one like Joseph Asai, but we went and got two guys here as grad transfers to actually be in that position, and we got somebody on campus who I think is going to fill that role well. But the true question, guys, that I put on Twitter, like just yesterday was, we got so much talent in the back end. We got a lot of talent at the safety position. At one time, we had 4 or 5-star safeties here on the team. So we had Caden Stearns, 5-star safety going to the league this year. BJ Foster, 5-star safety. Overshawn, 5-star safety who bumped down to the inside linebacker position. And we got a guy named Tyler Owens, who's a 5-star safety, who I just asked a question to you guys. Should Tyler Owens be bumped down to the inside linebacker position next to Overshawn? And like 75% of you guys on my Twitter page said yes. So we're going to explain how this 2-4-5 defense that Coach K is going to run is going to look, and how the personnel that we have here at Texas is going to actually work out with this. So let's just take a look at this guy. So the 2-4-5, the two defensive tackles that we're going to have, I think we all know who these guys are going to be. Keandre Colburn, man-child, beast, monster. Next guy, Alfred Collins, another man-child, beast, monster. You got those two guys manning your defensive tackle position, right? You're golden. And we got depth there too we got Sweat, we got Gorm Welch, we got guys like Vernon Broughton, who I think is also a beast, man. We got some depth on that line. We got some nice depth, right? And then, guys, at the weak side defensive end position, that's where Coach K likes that bigger guy, that stronger guy, 280, 290-pound guy. That's Moro Ojimo all day long. You have him sitting there at that position. It's perfect. Amazing to have him there, and the depth behind him, a guy like Jones, a guy like maybe Marquez Bemich, okay? And then you have at the strong side defensive end, you got the two grad transfers that the coach just brought in, so Ray Thornton, from LSU, and actually who's the other guy, Ovia Gofo from Notre Dame. And we got a guy here who's been waiting here for a year now, Prince Dorba. And you guys have heard me on these previous episodes. Very high on Prince Dorba. I think he was the best pass rusher coming out of high school when he came out. He's just an amazing kid as far as being on the field. He causes havoc. Haven't seen it in college, but I'm just looking at the high school film. Best pass rusher to come out that year from the state. So you got a guy like that who is a speed rusher who will be perfect at that strong side DN / hybrid outside linebacker position. It's going to be perfect. So how does that defense work, right? So what he does is what the coach does. So Coach K has the tackle, which is going to be Coburn is going to be the defensive tackle that's going to line up over the center. Coburn's going to take on two blocks, guys, unless you have a guy like Humphrey that's at OU, but he's going to the league. But you have him matched up with the center, and he's strong enough that somebody's going to put a double team on him. And then you have these two guys. You got your weak side DN, and you got your other defensive tackle. So you have Collins. Both of those guys, we have Collins and Ojimo, are probably going to line up just over the shoulder of the guard. And when these guys rush up the field, guys, what happens is they're over the shoulder, they rush up on the guards, and then they turn and go towards the tackles. That's how you get pressure. That is how you get pressure with three men. You have those two outside guys, which one is a defensive tackle in Alfred Collins. You have one at Ojimo, who is going to be over the guards. They come in on the shoulder of the guards and turn into the tackles. And those two guys, if they're good enough, will be able to take up two men at once, leaving a one-on-one coverage or a one-on-one with Coburn in the center. Coburn is too strong. He is too strong to only have one person guard him, one person block him. So he's going to get blocked by one person. A guard is going to have to make a decision. A guard on the left or the right is going to have to make a decision. Does he slide over and help with Coburn, who is a load? I call him, he's like the starter kid. He's a Casey Hampton starter kid. Or does he stick to the plan and stick to that other defensive tackle in Collins, or that weak side defensive end in Moro Ojimo? What does he do? He has to make a decision. But all the while he's making this decision, this is where the real pressure comes in, guys. This is where that strong side defensive end, this is where that outside linebacker hybrid, Prince Dorba, Agofo, Ray Thornton comes in and causes havoc, stunts, twists, outside rushes to get around the tackle because the tackle is getting consumed by either Collins or Ojimo. This is where we start to see the pressure, man. And this is how you create pressure with a line like that. This is how you get pressure with a 2-4-5. This is how you get the pressure with those two defensive tackles and those two hybrid outside linebacker / defensive ends. Now, the next key, guys, is your inside linebackers. Okay, we already know Overshawn is the guy. I think he has the potential to be first team All Big 12 this year, if not an All-American this year. He runs sideline to sideline. Was a 5-star safety out of ARP, Texas. Beast, Texas, man. East Texas, baby. East Texas, Beast, Texas. 5-star safety coming out of ARP. Loves to hit people. Can run all over the field. Loved his film. I thought he was the best athletic safety that came in that year out of the three, with him, B.J. Foster, and Caden Stearns. I thought Overshawn was the guy. You know, he ends up bumping down to the inside linebacker position, plays his butt off. The perfect linebacker, not only for the Big 12 going sideline to sideline, but also the perfect linebacker, guys, when it comes to playing in the NFL. We saw what went down in the Super Bowl. We saw how you got to have quick twitch, fast linebackers that can cover, that can catch a ball also, because they have experience playing the defensive back, where they're getting more opportunities to get the ball in their hands. Overshawn's that guy. He can intercept the ball. He's fast enough where he can shoot the gap and rush the quarterback. He can run stuff. He can do it all. He is the prototypical inside linebacker for the Big 12. Now, my next question to you guys was, I had this question on Twitter just yesterday. Do we move Tyler Owens to the other linebacker position right next to Overshawn? Now, this is not a slide on Juwan Mitchell or Jalen Ford or David Benda. These guys are slotted to compete to have that starting position next to Overshawn this year. But, hey, guys, to win, if you got 5-star guys, you need to get those guys on the field at least by their sophomore year. At least. These guys need to see some kind of playing time, especially when we're in a position where we got a lot of talent on this defense. And if we can line up as many 5-star athletes and guys in the field, the better. Tyler Owens is a big guy, man. Not mistaken, around 6'2", 6'3", 205 or so. But he's fast. He's fast. I think his personal best was a 10.29, I think, in the 100-meter dash, guys, if not faster. I think that was his personal best in 2018. So just think about that. 10.29 in the 100-meter dash, guys, equates to a 4.340. He might just be the fastest person on the team. And he's a big kid, man. He's like 205, maybe 210. If he can bulk up to where Overshawn is, if he can get to the 217, the 220, 225 range, still maintain his speed around the 4.4, area, you're looking at another guy who loves to lay some helmet on people, who plays defensive back, very instinctive guy, who can run sideline to sideline with Overshawn. Nobody would be able to penetrate that defense, man. You got Overshawn running on one side. You got Tyler Owens on another side. They're fast. They can track down and hawk anybody. Very, very kind of reminds you of Malik Jefferson, Gary Johnson, just a couple years back, right? Now that was a hell of a linebacker core, a lot of speed, and we know Gary Johnson he was a thumper, but this guy Tyler Owens, he's just as fast, if not faster, than Gary Johnson, man. I mean, that would be an amazing opportunity to see him bump down, and this way you get all your athletes, you get a bunch of 5-stars from the field, okay? So let's go back and look at these guys as far as the star quality after we get through with the whole synopsis of the defense. At the cornerbacks, guys, you got Darian Dunn, who's coming in, All-American from the FCS level, right? I'm probably going to start. You know, the big, tall, long, rangy guy. He's coming here to Texas to ball out, and I think he's going to ball out. The opposite cornerback position, Josh Thompson, Anthony Cook, Chris Adamara, they need to battle that out and figure out who's going to be the guy. I had high hopes for Anthony Cook. Now, you know, the books, you know, it's, you know, like his story's not written here yet at Texas. Still has a chance to do something very, very well here at Texas. Really does. Very talented kid. But that's going to be a battle between those three. That is going to be something that's going to be very serious. Now, I know you guys are thinking, where's Jameson? Where's Baby Shark at? Antoine Jameson? Not Antoine Jameson. That's basketball, man. I'm crazy, man. Deshaun Jameson. Move him to the nickel. He's your more fluid, back. He's your more fluid cornerback. He's the guy that can return the punts. He returns the kickoffs. You know, once he gets the ball, I mean, he's very physical, short, stout. Well, I wouldn't say short. He's like 5'11" or so, but he's a stocky guy, very quick. He can get in and out of cuts. I think he'd be the perfect nickelback in this defense. All right, so you keep him on the field. He starts because Shark is that guy. Jameson is that guy. You keep him on the field. And now at your safeties, you got B.J. Foster, 5-star guy, and you got Thompson. So Jaron Thompson. So he's from East Texas also. You keep him at the other safety. He played very well towards the end of the season last year. He got a lot of playing time as a freshman in I think the last 3 or 4 games. So that's your defense, guys. You look at the defensive tackles in Coburn and Collins. All right. Your weak side defensive end / outside linebacker hybrid, Mora Ojimo. Your starting strong side defensive end / outside linebacker hybrid is either going to be Prince Dorba, Agofo, or Thornton. You know, I like Prince Dorba. I do. Your inside linebackers, guys, if you have Overshawn there, and if Tyler Owens can bump down to that other inside linebacker position, God, could you imagine the speed there? 2 5-star safeties move down to inside linebackers that can thump, they can lay some helmet, they can lay some wood, they can be the guys that can be the centerpiece for that Texas linebacker position on the inside. And then, guys, at the safeties, Jaron Thompson, B.J. Foster. And then at the cornerbacks, guys, you're going to have Darren Dunn. Well, just say a battle between Dunn, Cook, Josh Thompson, Chris Adamara. And I know I'm missing some guys, but those 4 to battle it out at just at your outside cornerback position. At your nickelback position, you got the Shark, Deshaun Jameson, sitting there at the nickelback position. And I think his backup would probably Kitna Crawford. I mean, not Kitna, but Keaton Crawford. Crawford is good, man. He's another dog. He's one of those guys that doesn't mind thumping. Like seeing him play in high school, he played running back. And I mean, he's one of those guys that puts his helmet down, hits the hole really hard when he played running back. Very elusive guy. I think he'll be a great nickelback, right? So Jameson's here. Jameson does his thing this year. And I think it's off to the races for Crawford next year. So, man, we got some options. But let me know what you guys think about that defensive lineup. Should Tyler Owens, should he even think about bumping down to that other inside linebacker right next to Overshawn? I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's the best opportunity to get your best 11 on the field at one time on the field on defense. Him next to Overshawn would be amazing. You got your 2 5-star safety sitting there at linebacker, and then you got your other 5-star safety and B.J. Foster playing safety. And then you got some studs. You got Coburn, fringe 5-star guy. Collins, fringe 5-star guy. Okay? You got Broughton, who's going to be behind those guys. I mean, that defensive line is going to be able to be, interchanged in and out. It's going to be a a nice sight to see. So, guys, that 2-4-5 defense that Coach K is going to implement, which is probably going to be more multiple, not probably, he will be more multiple than what people are going to give him credit for. It's going to be more of a 4-3 kind of defense or a 4-2-5, but those two outside linebackers are definitely hybrid outside linebackers, defensive ends that can cause havoc. Just remember the way that the pressure is going to come from that line, guys. Coburn over the center. He's going to take on one block easy, if not two. Those other guys, Collins and Ojimo, are going to line up on those outside guards, man, on the outside shoulder of those guards. And when they hit the guards, they're going to move outward to the tackle. And that's how you create pressure with a three-man line and having another guy come in and wreak havoc, whether it's Prince Dorba, Agofo, or Thornton, wrecking havoc, rushing the passer, different lanes where they can go into, or you have one of those fast safeties that move down to the inside linebacker position in Overshawn or Tyler Owens if he does move, which I'm praying he does. You have speed. That's going to get to the quarterback. So, guys, on that note, man, thanks for listening. Just another podcast, just another show here on YouTube, man. So Nino's Corner, I'm out, guys. But you guys know how I always end everything, guys. I always tell you guys to do you, man. Don't be afraid to fail. Outgrow your environment. Understand your brilliance. On that note, man, salute. Nino's Corner, I'm out.